In this video, we'll make some improvement to the filter post by category feature. First, we'll show the name of the selected category. For example, if we select the category Internet, it will display an alert selected category Internet on the top of the page. Then, when the post is empty, we'll display different alert as well. This is still static HTML, and we'll change it with a category name that can link to the list of the posts in the same category. And less important is that we will change this URL to be more SEO friendly by using slug of the category. But before we do that, let's make a little change to this query. Actually, nothing wrong with this query. I just show you another way to get the same result by using more precise query. Okay, remember we pass category ID in parameter. So here we change it to category find ID or using find or fail. This would returns one category object. Then we can tag its all posts using post method. The subsequent queries are all the same. Let us first do short published to filter only the post that has been published only, and we end with simple paginate or get method. Now let's test. Oops, I get error. Remember, in the view we call links method, and we can use it when we use pagination. So here let's change to simple paginate. Okay, let's tidy this up. And I get rid of this. Then let's debug the queries. Refresh. These queries for displaying categories, the other for displaying all posts of the related category. And here there are two queries again to display the post authors. This is because we have only 2 posts. If we have 10 posts, there will be 10 queries executed to get the post author. So let's go back to blog controller again, and here call with method and pass the relationship name. Let's see again. Okay, now it's just one query executed, and we don't need this log again. Refresh. Okay. The next thing we have to do is change the query filter from using the ID to slug. In the previous video, we have used route service provider, but today we'll try another way. If we take a look at this route, we define a category parameter and Laravel will translate it as integer value by default. But if we inject the category object in the parameter, Laravel will translate it to find a category by ID. I tidy up this line. Now let's see. We get same result. This is well known as route model binding. So how can we do that? It's very easy, but before that, let's change the category link. Let's go back to sidebar blade.php and change it to slug. Let's see. Okay, now the category link has been changed. Title click. This is because there is no category with ID Internet. In order to make this model binding able to filter by slug, let's open the category model, and here let's define getRouteKeyName method, and here we return the name of the column that will be used. Now let's refresh. The error is gone. Try another one. Okay, I think it's worked now. The next step, let's display a message or alert when post empty. Let's go back to our editor, open index.php file, and here let's create a new div with alert info class. And let's show the message here. Let's see. I think it's good. Of course, we have to show this message when the post is empty. So let's go back to our editor and show the alert when the post is empty. The next thing we have to do is show the current category name on the top. Back to editor, and here we show the category name if it has defined in our controller. And for now, of course, it won't work. So the next step, let's assign category object to category name variable and pass it to the view. Let's try again. Now the current category name is shown. And for the empty message, I think alert warning would be better. Now let's display the category name to every single blog item and make the link work. I'll change the icon to folder and the href attribute to category route. Change the name to post category title. Let's see. Pretty good. Next, let's click the blog posts. And here we got error categories undefined. To fix that, let's jump to blog controller. And here, the easiest way is copy these categories and paste it in this show method. This is not a good solution because it will make duplication code in all methods. We'll fix that shortly. Don't forget to pass it to the view. Refresh. Okay, now the error is gone. Before end this lesson, let's tidy up our blog controller. Back to our editor, and here we have duplication code in every methods, which is query to show all categories. This is bad practice because if we want to change the query, that means we have to change it in all places. In addition, we have to keep our controller as lean as possible. In this case, we'll be using ViewComposer. This is different and has no relation with composer dependency management. First, let's open our terminal and make new service provider. Let's call it Composer Service Provider or whatever name you want. Service provider is the central of the initialization process in which all the relevant and necessary code is loaded here, including the most essential, that Laravel framework itself. Here we can register any services like bindings, event listener, middleware, route, and much more. And we can also create our custom code and then load it here. Let's open the newly created composer service provider file. It was inside app providers directory. Here we'll call the vComposer in this boot method, because this method is called after all services provider has been registered. So after everything has registered in the framework, we can access all services provider we need. Here let's call viewHelper, followed by calling composer method. This method needs two parameters. The first is the name of our view, in this case is sidebar in layouts directory. And the second is the closure, which has one parameter with the view object itself. Back to block controller. And let's cut this line. And get rid of this line. And we passed here. After that, we pass the categories to the view. Don't forget to import the category model namespace on the top. Let's test. I got error undefined categories. There's one more step we have to do. After we created new service provider, we have to register it in config app.php file. Let's find the providers, scroll down, and here let's define the composer service provider. Let's try again, and I still got error. Sorry for the typo. I'll change the class name and the file name also. Let's try again. Okay, now the error is gone and the categories is still remain. Now let's get rid of unused code. Okay, now our controller more linear. Let's check one more time to make sure there's no error. Alright, I think we're done here. Don't forget to save your work changes in your Git repository.